Madam Speaker, I just wanted to ask you, on the Rules Committee, what are your thoughts on establishing a rule, like a Rule 40 type, regarding the eligibility of candidates? Do you expect that to happen, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, what happens if you go through and look at the Rules Committee, the rules that we are operating under right now become the temporary rules of the convention, and then the convention Rules Committee can make some amendments to those temporary rules. If they make any amendments, they'll have to go to the floor of the entire convention to be approved. And I think that, we just came back from a meeting in Hollywood, Florida, last week, and they didn't come out with any recommendations for any changes. I think there's probably, not going to be many recommended changes, which would mean that if there are none, they'll adopt the rules as they currently go in, the temporary rules as the permanent rules. But that takes a vote at the convention to do that.
Okay.
So the biggest debate at the moment has been whether you stay with the U.S. House of Representatives rules or whether or not you go with Robert's Rules of Order. That was the big debate in Hollywood, Florida. Switching to something that we've used for, lots of years was voted down heavily by the committee, so they set no recommendations for changes.
How can you handle so much excitement? Robert's Rules versus House of Representative rules?
Because I've been in the legislature. Okay, well, sorry.
You're fine. Well, I was just going to ask, there's talk about Cruz and Trump forces trying to unite to have a rule, like a Rule 40 type, to keep Kasich, make him ineligible. I mean, do you see that happening on the Rules
You don't
Committee?
have to be nominated on the floor for the votes that you get to count. So that's it. Let me say that again. You do not need to be nominated on the floor to have the votes that are cast for you count.
So that Rule 40, the 8-state rule, is you can get around that? You can sidestep it?
You can have votes count, which we would. We're a bound delegation. There are other bound delegations. So, no, you do not have to be officially nominated for those votes to count. Go back and look at the last couple of conventions for the line by line. I'm probably the only one in the world that has what's called the Green Book. Okay, but those rules that were cast before. Paul and others have always cussed. So if somebody that has not been nominated gets 1,237 votes, they're going to be the nominee.
What do you think is going to happen after round one?
I think, round one situation it depends upon, where Trump is and how many votes he gets. If it goes into second, third, fourth, fifth, nobody knows what's going to happen then.
What's your prediction now? I mean,
my prediction is that some states are bound for two ballots, as you know. Some states are bound for 3 ballots, and one state is bound for every ballot. So those people that are bound, unless they're released by the person they're bound to, will have to stick with the bound things. But I think the others will move quickly. And it will, if you're following a state by state happening, as they choose these delegates late, a lot of states are choosing delegates this weekend, and those delegates that have gotten chosen, they're on their own. They may be bound to vote for somebody on that first ballot, but the second ballot, they're free to move wherever they want to. And a lot of them, are making some of those commitments and basically just coming forward and saying, look, if it gets to a second ballot or a third ballot, we're going to be with you. And I think that's what's going to make the difference. So there's so much that can happen between now and then.
what kind of, there's always some whining and dining and events and things like that the delegates get to go to, the corporate sponsors sponsor. But how is that going to be elevated as the delegates are pressured to, switch their allegiances?
Well, if you look at all of the things that we talked about today for the Ohio delegation, those are all obviously a lot of contributors to those. A number of Ohio companies contribute to, fund to put those all on, but they're really under the sponsorship of the Ohio Republican Party or under Senator Portman or under, Governor Kasich or someone else. So there's a lot of other things out there. There will be a lot of people that will be working the delegates and trying to get the petitions. There are right now.
What's going on right now? What kind of working over is going on?
Well, people are calling, and people are writing, and people are knocking on people's doors and that type of thing. It's not happening in Ohio. I would just say this for Ohio. We have, in my opinion, the cleanest the best system of the delegates getting chosen. The candidates choose their delegates, nobody else does. They put them, then they have to file the slated delegates. There's no question who they're going to be for, but it's not done by somebody else. Right now, in these other states, you just file an individual petition to want to be a delegate, and somebody approaches you and says, well, we'll help you with your campaign if you'll commit to vote for us on the first ballot. So it's impossible to follow it all. I'm usually, I think, pretty good at organizational things. There is just no way to follow all of this. There's just no, there isn't. There's too much happening. And you've got things going on in Michigan this weekend, you've got things going on in Massachusetts this weekend, you've got things going on in South Carolina. So all over the country, every weekend, there's these different conventions. So it's pretty